Morning and welcome to our Hiku Community Board meeting here in Hiku. I'd like to call on Rachel, please, for the opening prayer.
Let's pray. E tua toa homai kia mātou, tō rangi Māori e, tō aroha, tō kaha, tō maramatanga, mō tēnei rā. God, give us your peace, your love, your strength, your wisdom, your understanding for this day. Amen.
Amen.
So the apologies is one apology from Councillor Boyd. I'll move it.
Darren, take it.
All in favour? At public forum, and then we have Dan Hobson. Thank you, Daniel. Welcome to the table.
Thank you. Still got a lot on the agenda, so I won't I'll take it as time as possible. Thank you, Madam Chair, for inviting me here. I just wanted to come and give you all a little bit of a critique about the movie and offer my thanks on behalf of our community out there because it was a huge success. So just in terms of the history, I got a whisper that there was a movie. So we do a lot of movie work in Australia, and that started the ball rolling. 2 Japanese turned up, and I said, look, I'll totally get behind it, and I'll do everything I can. And then so then they flew in 5 Japanese, and I lied. I said the Far North District Council is fantastic, and I'll support it. And that really was my view at that stage. But then I met with this group, and you really did get behind it. And I'll tell you, there was one person, well, there's all of you need thanks, but in particular, Bev. Bev was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, Bev. We know that.
No, but you were responsive. Normally with the Far North District Council, you've got to keep ringing. You rang us, and you arranged the meetings, you did the emails, everything worked. It was really good. So, hey, it's time to give me a call. At that stage, we nearly lost the movie, and Councillor, Community Member Walker came with alternatives for sites, and that was helpful. We didn't need them, but it was just it was an alternative because they were at a point of saying, enough is enough, we're out of here. So that turned it around. Bill came on board with alternatives for different site locations. In the end, we chose, or establishment locations, we chose the Lake Oahe Hall. And that, for me, was really the beginning of it, because at that stage, the hall had 1 booking. Suddenly they had a movie set or set up. And so and I think they might have got 5,000 or something like that for that. Then 130 of them all turned up and were all housed in our community. That was really great for it, but they ate there, and I've been trying to get from the movie guys sort of a budget to help us establish what came into the community, but it's always very, they keep all quiet. All that I know is that their total budget was 40 million for the movie, so they're big time. That didn't come into the Far North, unfortunately, but then must have been a reasonable portion of it came here. So look, it was a success, and there was just a couple of other sort of spin-offs from it. They asked me for someone who would be a good liaison person and security while they were filming this. I have an old career friend of mine, well, she may not be one to be called a career friend, but I got Lydia Lloyd onto it.
Oh, right, yes.
And she made it all happen. There's a couple of punks that do wheelies and Whanganui all the time. She sent the boys around. So that night they were the quietest as possible. So no, she handled all the security, and now she's been off at a Royal on Spartacus doing the same thing in Auckland. So I don't know if she'll take it, but it just shows what we can do as a community. So yeah, look, but it really comes back to your group. You gave us all the confidence to do it, and it succeeded.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more thank you for you.
And Daniel, so do you have any idea when the film's going to come out?
November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we have a special showing up here at our Tiahu?
We're going to fly you to Tokyo.
Oh, Yes.
I'd like to organise. I've asked if it's a Japanese film
Yeah.
for the Japanese market, but yeah, it'll be out in November. I think the name is going to be Beyond Goodbye, but I'll keep you posted. And you know, it might be quite good to be here. The things I did miss out on was the second movie. There was 2 movies up for grabs, so we didn't get the second one. And the other one was having them use our beautiful coastline for locations. And in the end, they looked at it, but because it's set in Hawaii with Japanese actors, they wanted Hawaii, so they flew a film crew to Hawaii to film there. So we missed that part of it, but maybe there's next time.
Yeah.
Not enough palm trees, Daniel?
They'll all be chopped down.
Did we manage to get many locals?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they advertised and they had like 180 people applying, and they needed 6, and they were 3 people, so they sat in the cafe there at night. Some were walking along the street, and yeah, so there was a nighttime team there, and again, you organised the road closure. Thank you. So no, it all worked really well.
I did speak to Clayton now.
Yes, yeah. Well, he claimed not offer to come up here, but if I thought it was necessary, but still can't just come and say thank you.
You said for a start off, before they talked to Rachel, they were going to walk. Why was that?
There was one location here that the people were in their property, they were struggling with it, and the Japanese thought, well, we'll go to 100 locations. So, and that meant we would lose it from our area here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I spoke to his name's just where it was filmed in the end, just for a debrief the other day.
Oh, okay.
And they said in the end it was great and all went well, and they were really happy and glad they did it.
Yeah, I thought it went well.
I did speak to them at the council after I spoke to you.
Yeah.
I saw them at that thing, and I really encouraged them to just, it's only this much time, give it a go, see. Yeah, they're glad they did.
Yeah.
It was a success for them too.
Well, and they would have, I presume they would have watched some of the filming, which the whole community out in Moanui did. So suddenly we're global, we have a movie being made. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
Daniel, is there any likelihood that there, might be more movies here, or?
Suddenly the movie industry is getting big in New Zealand again. The short answer is I don't know. But what I do know is that whole group of Japanese went home feeling that our community had embraced them, and they absolutely loved everything about it. And so they were very impressed. I hope so.
Similar to Lagoya, all the residents said that they thought it was brilliant. Just the feedback they were asked, they wouldn't go to look around at things, and that was cool. So there was a good relationship built real quick.
Yeah. Well, again, we've got to thank Olivia Wood because she sort of brought a lot of people together. So.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much. Any further questions?
Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate your feedback.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Dan.
So that we can get on with the agenda items, there's no deputations or speakers. So we're up to item point 61, the confirmation of the previous minute. I'll move it, so I have second it, please.
Hello, Rachel.
Thank you. Does everybody read the minutes?
Yeah.
Any questions from the minutes? All in favour?
Right.
Thank you. There was extraordinary minutes there too. 7.1, which is the funding applications. On page 19.
Oh, through the chair, can I speak to this one?
Certainly.
I don't have a conflict of interest on this, but I installed those digital signs for the council at the time, or for you, for the revitalisation group, and anything from there on goes back to the people that supplied the signs, which is the digital you'll see in the quotes.
Yeah.
But what happened, just so you're clear, so everyone understands, the two signs, well, one's a privately owned sign, that's Cod Tractors.
Yeah.
Yep. And the big one outside Super Liquor, they've had very few issues, and we couldn't get to the bottom, Laser Electrical couldn't get to the bottom of what was happening with the APAR sign, and it turned out to be faulty power, like it's just not consistent enough out there. It's a rural location, and no one ever thought about that. So they're having to spend a bit of money to get it right after all this time. But the sign people have said that they will extend the warranty if once, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm in favour of supporting them to get them, because they're really not, I had a little chat to Andrea about it, they're really not selling their advertising, they're not charging enough, so that they've got money in the bank to pay for any sort of, yeah. So hopefully this amount here will get them back to where the power needs to be, and they won't have any more faults. Yeah. So I support this claim.
So you're moving it?
Yeah, I'll move that resolution. Yeah.
Is there any other questions on that?
It is a council asset now too. So, yeah, I'd like to support it, and hopefully it gets them to where they want to be. Yeah.
All in favour?
I agree.
Thank you. I just would like to note the amount in the community grant replacement fund, and we've got 3 months left.
We haven't got any financial reporting.
Well, I know, but that's, I'm just, we haven't had it for a wee while, but we've got some figures there.
Yeah, I see that.
So I just want you to all think about that.
3 months.
Can we carry it over?
No.
Can we commit it and hold it?
We're going to have to commit it to something.
We're doing that.
At the last meeting with what we've got.
We can commit it, but we don't necessarily have to spend it, just commit
We
it.
have to commit it to something that's in our strategic plan.
That's okay.
Or something that's.
We want to do.
That's. Yeah. So at any rate, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. So we're now on to 7.2, which was on page 2.
There's another recommendation here.
Oh, is there? Oh,
My house. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah. Mm.
oh, right. Boy, this should put these good.
Can't see an issue with it.
Happy for that to happen. Does anyone else?
I'm happy with it.
I'm happy with it.
It brings a commercial.
Yeah.
All in favour?
Aye.
Oh, I'll leave it.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. 7.2, which is the project funding reports. I'd like to move it, please.
Darren?
Second on.
Yeah.
Nope.
No elections.
Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
You beat me by
Some good reports come back.
Yeah.
Really great to be helping these communities out. Like it's where I get a buzz. especially at too hard to year. So everyone happy? Any questions from these reports? All in favour?
I feel
8.1, the Whakanui pedestrian crossing response to petition. And we have Elizabeth waiting in the here. Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. Good morning, everyone. I'll take the report as read. I'll ask Ellie if Tim Elliott is with us as well from Kentucky or no. I'll speak on behalf of Tim then. Just a real thanks to Darren for meeting us out there. We had a good meeting with community. And to reiterate, the next steps is Tim is going to put this crossing forward as part of Whakaputahi's funding application for the 24-27 period. There is a recommendation to the board that perhaps you consider completing the footpath that exists along the one side of Lamb Road. I know Cheryl had asked costs for that. Right now, for a project of that size, we're seeing footpath costs in the realm of $1,000 to $1,200 per linear meter.
So how many linear meters is this bit?
30. So probably $30,000. Hopefully less to complete that section.
Have you got a budget for it?
So my suggestion to the board is you have fully committed your footpath budget for the 24-27 LTP. Let's wait and see if Whakaputahi is successful in getting the crossing modifications. If so, because it is such a small section, I think we reconvene and see if we want to prioritize that against something else. But for now, I would recommend that the board stay with their current priority. And I'm also happy to take any questions.
So our priority list is on the back of the
through the chair, I wish Felicity was here because I thought there was going to be enough money in that, how we're doing Waterfront Road, looking at that other reserve. I thought that footpath was going to be out of that bucket.
But reality is, when will you know whether, how long will it be before we know whether NZTA are going to do this footpath as part of the job?
Through the chair, so with the delay in the GPS and the subsequent delays in the RLTP, I would suggest that it's probably September before we know if we're successful in the funding.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's 6 months. And if they will pay for it, there's no reason why we should. But on the other hand, it's not 30K. If they won't pay for it, then we just look at what our options are. But the job needs doing.
We can take any additional questions if there are any.
Just around the cost of these things is someone keeping on top of it, Elizabeth? Because, there's all these, government, as soon as it's government or local government, it just seems crazy, the price. And it's like, how often are we going to market to,
Sure.
Yeah.
So through the chair, the prices that we received and I received from our capital team were based on open tender and our last round of footpaths, not based on rates out of the maintenance contract. So that's what the market is giving us.
So sorry, you said 1,000 to
1,200 per linear meter, and that's including, of course, everything. There is, I don't want to speculate, but in the draft GPS, there is language around trying to minimize costs around temporary traffic control, which is where we've seen a huge escalation on all of our projects. So perhaps if that comes through or something comes of that out of the GPS, we'll see some cost savings there.
How does one try to encourage the local contractors to get their site-wise and start? Because it's okay, I go out there and talk to them. I said, why aren't you guys, what is it a process that's all too hard for them, or?
Chair, I can't speak to that. As a having a partnership that owns a local business, and we went through and got our site wise.
Yeah. No, well, so did I. But I just wondered if in that construction, mine was reasonably easy when I'm just putting up some signs. But
Of course.
I just wondered in that whole footpath construction side of it, you know, why more of I suppose I'm talking about the smaller guys like TF Civil or, you know what I mean?
I certainly think that it would behoove the council, and I'm speaking way outside of my normal.
Yeah, sorry.
here,
Yeah.
in the procurement space, to have somebody on board that could help local businesses get signed up for site-wise and work through that paperwork and whatnot. Perhaps that's a suggestion.
Yes,
that
we
can
did
come
it through
from
this Hiku revitalisation program and
Yeah,
helped a
that
lot of
was
small
good.
businesses
Yeah.
get site-wise. And actually, Andrea might be able to help in that space too.
I might have a
Yeah.
chat to someone. That's good. Thank you.
Certainly competition is good for everybody.
It is.
Agreed.
Any other questions?
Just one quick, is the completion of the footpath and Army still on the radar? And if so,
So
at the
I,
intersection of the.
yes,
Yeah.
I've spoken to the graduate who's managing the renewals program and reminded him yet again that that needs to get done before the end of June. And he's tasked me with taking some additional photos while I'm up here today.
Thank you.
That's, but on the.
Thank you.
That's right. Yes.
Excellent.
What about Cable Bay Block Road, Elizabeth?
I don't know the status of that. I haven't been by there, Cheryl. Maybe
It
you could
looks,
tell me.
yeah, it looks like it's finished to me, but I did ask for some positive media for that because it's a big, long footpath and they're doing a good job.
I will definitely get back to Franz and the project manager and the policy. Ask them to do something around that.
Thank you.
If I had a drive up there to look at it,
Yeah,
it's
Made a
amazing.
huge
It's
difference.
a long,
Mm.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Question, sorry, for Cheryl. Has Gareth managed to get your signs in on Mill Bay Road, the pedestrian warning signs yet?
Haven't seen them.
Okay, I'll check that. Wow. That's me.
Further questions on this paper?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Makes for some notes.
Not today.
So what are the next steps then?
In regards to this paper,
Yeah.
I would say the next steps on the funding side, or we'll wait and see until September with what we've got.
Yeah.
As far as response back to community, I felt like the petition writer, and Darren, correct me if I'm wrong, understood what we were going to do after the site meeting, and I think this report is also available to the public. And that, I believe, satisfies the community board's responsibility under that petition. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So I'm going to move over to this later, please.
Darren?
So is everyone happy with the?
Yeah.
Yeah. All in favour?
All right.
Thank you. 8.2, which is the Hiku Community March 2024 Open Resolution Report. I'll move it. You can go.
Yep.
So in the report too on page 47, we've got the book card, which is great, which keeps us here. Look at the main road.
Has that little bit on your road done?
Yep. Yes, it's all done. Blue. Oh, actually, just one question from this for Elizabeth. Is the Mill Bay Road going to be constructed in the new budget from if
Join your company.
September?
That's
Oh,
through the
so
chair,
not
that's
the-
correct. So it'll be part of the 24-27.
Okay, so not.
The first part.
The very first one, yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just your road. So did we need to add Lamb Road to this?
I think we should.
Just to keep it there.
Keep it
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And also, Madam Chair, can we add, seeing as we met with Chris Galbraith and Catherine the other day, can we add the funding application from,
We can talk about that. We can talk about it.
yeah, I just want it added on so we don't forget that either.
Oh, okay.
The funding application from John Haynes, please.
We need to line the table.
Yeah, and so if we have it on here, in this list, we can check up on it from time to time.
Also, in the open resolution report, you would like the funding application from John Hay
Added, please.
for the pipe mineral.
Yes, thank you.
I think that's good.
So, sorry, so you want Lamb Road added to this
Yeah, just
resolution?
just added to there, or add a separate line or something, so we don't forget that when it comes September time to add it into,
So sorry, just so that I'm understanding clearly, was Lamb Road part of this resolution or part of
no,
No.
this is all new this morning.
So Elizabeth, can it, like, if we've already set these footpaths in this resolution, can we add another one at this point in time with the LTP being about to go out for consultation?
So through the chair, we have provided our list of the pass for consideration for funding. However, the board keeps a longer list of those they want to come next that haven't been put forward for funding. I would suggest that this becomes part of that longer list. And when we know the exact funding levels that you receive for 24-27, the board has the opportunity to go back to their prioritization and change it in any way they see.
Yeah, because there might be a little bit of funding left in order to do that. Depends on how much we're going to.
So a way to do it might be, Madam Chair, that Ellie puts this resolution, receives a report on the pedestrian crossing at Brookesnilly, because we want to keep an eye on that as well, and then just add something to the effect that Lamb Road footpath needs to be considered as part of the, just so it's there.
It's just a little piece.
Yeah,
Could I suggest through the chair that I add an update in here on this resolution
whatever you
itself,
like.
and like note that this has been discussed today and it becomes part of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just make sure Pinnery pedestrian crossing stays on there somewhere too.
Or you could add Lamb Road here and then put the reason why.
You can't read,
Oh, you can't.
can't change a resolution.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I can add it
Add it
here.
in there.
Or if you prefer, I can make a note on the recommendation that currently sits in front of you that we've just voted on regarding the canoe pedestrian crossing.
Well, it's up here, Pinnery pedestrian crossing is already on here, so let's just leave that on there and,
Add that down.
yeah.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, have we heard anything further about North Park Toilet, which is leaving?
No, they're going to have to look at other options, and I would think that's one of the options they should be going for is talking to the people who own the warehouse land. I mean, the warehouse lease their building, don't they?
Through the chair, I don't know why we don't put some community pressure on Dole. No one's, all has been so far as an official thing from Poskin or wherever. If it come from the community board, KBA, blah, 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 we would like you to reconsider. Is that going to have any,
We have to go through legal probably, because legal are the people who would have to.
Yeah, I just don't understand how you just say, yes, okay, thank you very much, I will try and find another place. Like if that's what we're here for, to represent the people, and if the people need it and Goal starts to feel, oh, hang on a minute, we've got a community that really needs, and I mean, they're going to be serviced by council, they don't have to do anything.
Would it be as simple as just like letters of support? Asking them.
Well, I know Andrea, I spoke to Andrea about it at KBR. I said, does anyone put any local pressure on them? It might go nowhere, but It could be a letter from us and a letter from KBA.
How can we?
Is that possible,
Yeah,
Kelly? How does that work?
Bev could write a letter on behalf of us and you could sign it.
I could-
Yeah, you could sign it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's legal that if we've got to do, because they're the ones who deal with leases and what have you, so, and the whole thing was
Like
sitting
it's
with legal.
so
anyway.
easy for them to say no.
Yeah, so you could put community pressure on outside of this board, really, if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
I know what I'd write in it.
Put it on
Would you like people with placards out the front saying, don't use these pumps? Because we can't use the toilets. I don't know.
We put the, I mean, as part of the Te Hiku revitalisation too, the power's actually gone in there, ready for that, because that was we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think we should leave this. I think we should try a little bit harder.
Yeah, I agree.
Through the chair, I mean, this brings up a big issue with big organisations moving into the area, big developments happening from Pukenui all the way down. Whereas why can't we signal to them real early that, you know, any participation in terms of addressing public needs, etc., get that right on the planning stage. I think you brought it about the solar areas, you know, contributing to footpaths, to the parks, etc., but getting in early.
If we had a development contributions policy, we could do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is going to happen.
So who's got the, who would have the reply, from Gull? Because I'm happy to write a reply from and you guys check it. You know, it wouldn't be, I'm not going to say what I said before, but it'll be sort of like the community has spent money. I say the community because it's to put power in place for this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a negative look.
Could we come up from the angle of what were your concerns? How can we work together to alleviate those concerns? You know, some kind of.
I think Rachel should write it then.
I'll predict them.
Not, I'm going to come. Hold a flag and
Yeah,
move on your lawn.
We've got two things here, so if Gull can come, we need to write a letter to Gull, okay? Pressure on.
John's just offered to do it,
Yeah. And then the other thing is they have to have a look at other locations, and I'm thinking perhaps somewhere in the warehouse car park. And it's not the warehouse people that actually own it. The property's held by some of the people who own it, and down in South Island, I believe. And so we'd have to deal with them. As the only.
So first step, John needs to know where the letter from Gull is so that he can reply.
Yeah,
reply. So can you organise that, Ellie?
Legal should have it somewhere.
Yeah.
Because they when initially it was all going to happen, they were fine, and then they went wrong because I think it was taking too long and was held up in, I think, an else.
That's okay. If we've got the letter and John responds, we've got a process.
And could I suggest that we get other groups to support?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah.
KBA, who else?
Oh, might have tears. All those ones.
Everyone.
All the ones in
Everyone
there.
we can think of.
Then the chair, can I ask, leave that one with me to explore legal and
Oh, yeah.
just to make sure that the board is important to any dispute in this issue as well.
Thank you.
Because normally it's an operational for legal to, rather than a board member to go
Yeah,
and write on behalf of council.
thank you.
Through the chair. Elizabeth. Sorry, I meant to ask before. It's been bugging me, so I've got to ask it. I take it the Gills Road ceiling has completed down in Awanui? Gill Road. That was completed? The seal.
I'm sorry, I am not on top of exactly where the seal program is at. Is this in regards to the new subdivision on Gill Road?
No, it was maintenance basically from the bypass road intersecting Gill Road, just past there towards the bridge. That was all completed, My question was that RFSs had been raised for 2 huge potholes in Gills Road. They did the work I'm talking about. 2 weeks later, they did 1 pothole, and the other one's still waiting. And I'm just asking about the logic about that and our service organisations, how they respond.
Through the chair, unfortunately, I can't speak for our maintenance contractors and maintenance staff as well. We're a large organization and I only see one little piece, but I can certainly highlight that and bring that
It's just that I bounce through them regularly.
regularly.
Take a photo and say, how come this was fixed?
Yeah,
And not this.
And the new bit.
It's like that big pothole just north of Pepperell Road, Heath Road and Northwood. Apparently we're fixing that. And then another pothole developed and they sealed over them. Just doesn't make sense.
So remember, this has been live streamed.
Yeah, very good.
So the other thing that's on here was to do with the drainage committees. We, both Darren and I attended the Kaitaia one, and Darren and I attended the last 2, which is Waihara, Waikino, and the Matatini one. So I decided to stay for the whole 3 and listened to these farmers who have been struggling with having their grain sprayed and their grain cleaned out. And we're finally going to be getting somewhere, hopefully, with Tanya Proctor, who's now in charge of the spraying contracts and the infrastructure side of their spraying. So hopefully from now on we might see some action and some satisfied farmers, hopefully. Is that the way you see it, Darren?
Well, no, it's not, because it needs to be done right now.
Yep.
We haven't got time to wait. Soon the weeds will be doing their thing and it's too late. And the farmers said that in the room and no one seemed to listen. It has to be done right now.
Hopefully Tanya's listening.
And that's the spraying. But, hopefully going forward it goes well. But the drains are clogged. Cheryl, Aaron was here. He's beside himself. All the farmers, their drains are blocked. And you can walk across them. That's how thick they are.
Well, the spraying contract has been let, so
it's too late. We put it in place 18 months ago that it was early autumn, early spring. We purchase orders out. It's never happened. It's not the new people's fault. It's the old people's fault. But it has to happen soon, because if we get a rain, we're going to be in trouble.
Well, reality is it's a simple job. The council have made it hard, and either something's done or you're not going to have drainage committees because they're having.
Well, that's what we came up with. I said, why can't we go back to the way it was? And that's what the farmers want. Because it's not working how it is.
Anyway, hopefully Tanya will.
Yeah, hopefully she will.
Nettie.
It's actually a shambles. I got into this April last year. The contract used to be Finland. Contractors spraying. And Lynn Fenwick had run me in April of last year and said, look, we can't do it anymore. Fenwick had passed away. And I got on to council about it, and it was a simple contract. There were no new drains involved, so it was just switch over to the next person the way it went. That's April last year, and to this day they still haven't sorted themselves out. It's an absolute shambles. I got Nick Tafe at this time. He's doing the spying, and they've mucked around with Nick now. Andy Finch, and he's gone, which is probably a great thing. He wanted to put it up for tender, but the amount of money that's involved, it didn't have to go for tender, because we're only talking about a small amount of money. But it did go for tender, and now everything's gone backwards again. And Nick doesn't know where he is. He sprayed all the Kaimai drains. He's now moving up to Waihara Kaikino. and that Waipa area. Now, who's to say now that he could be kicked out? But you're right, you just said, in regard to the condition of the drains, I went and had a look at them several months ago with Paul Harvey and all those farmers. It's far beyond spraying now. It needs a digger. Now, when you bring in a digger, Michael Steele, he does it. When you bring in a digger, you're talking big biggies. And who's going to pay for it? They haven't got the money. Budget's not there for it to bring it in a digger. But I walked across the road, you walk across it. That's how bad it is. But it's a hot thing that's been going on for nearly a year and still they haven't sorted it out.
Well, Tanya's just taken over the job and she's only just getting the contract for 3 years.
She was the one dealing with it in April last year.
She wasn't.
She was the one dealing with it. So hopefully we'll just cross our fingers and hope God will come out and say, look, we'll get it done. It's pretty bleak, I'm sorry, on community board, but that's how it is.
It's been bleak for 4 years, Matty. It's not the last 1 year.
No,
We had all the farmers in here, would be 2 years ago.
yeah, we've had workshops over all sorts of things, and it is bleak, and it's a continuation of bleak. There's no improvement. We talk about it, and we never get anything done about it.
It's embarrassing.
But anyway, hopefully we're going to turn the page. For the farmer's sake.
Well, a contract sprayer who was doing the spraying had done most of Kaitan, they're heading up to.
It's Nikolai.
Yeah.
It's Nikolai.
So they're working their way through.
Through the chair, Tanya Proctor has just messaged and said she's working with the sprayer now and the drain cleaner, and it wasn't her last day. She's only just come into this role in March 4th was when she started this role. So
Yeah.
that's a bit of an update from Tanya.
Good on her.
Yeah. No, she's onto it now. So let's give her a chance. There's nothing more that we can actually do apart from now that someone's really taking responsibility for it. We'll just have to run with that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we might have some happy farmers in a few weeks' time. And that the rains don't come too early.
Well, that's the other thing they need to look at somehow, and it wasn't before Gabriel, with the change of use up there from pastoral farming, sediment got all over the farms, and so hopefully they're looking at some sort of monitoring and so on as well.
Yes, it needs to be. So anyway, any further questions on that report? No? All in favour?
Right.
So we're on to the last one then, isn't it? 8.3, which is our community board report. So you have a mover, please, in a second.
Darren? No.
So there's my report there. I've given you an update on the town square. And last night I attended the Hiku Sports Hub meeting, and we still don't have a confirmed date for the opening at this point because there's still a few items that have to be coming from for commissioning and that they have to go into the cold. So we're waiting on those coming along, and they have to in the kitchen and all the dry wings on speed now. So hopefully that'll be ready for opening as well. So we're looking at probably sometime at the end of May or sometime in May. So I'm not quite sure. I can't give you a date at this point. So is there any questions from my
Through the chair, is that the Dan Road RFS? Is that the same one with the leak, Bev, on Adele's report? It says that Dan Road police have advised me that the property is overgrown, causing a fire hit. And I think that's the same property that I had the water leak.
I'll have to have a look at that.
There was I'm pretty sure, well, it must be. Is that up by the,
Other deal.
just before the dairy, Dell?
Yeah.
So it has to be the same one.
Yeah.
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 So maybe those two RFSs need to be,
Linked.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And the other thing I'd like to just talk about, I actually attended the Kaito Business Association meeting. Ron was flying to Wellington for another meeting, and our parking review, they went over that, and the lady from Amy Page, her name is, and she's from Hague Woodman, and she gave a really good update on that. So I'd really like you to all read your parking review, because I'm going to obviously invite you to come on Teams or come to our meeting in April, so that you can all ask questions too from that review before we actually adopt that document.
Mm.
So that's me. Darren?
Okay, mine, you can take everything that's there as read, but something has come up that's really urgent, so I'm just going to talk about that. So the Hauhora Heads walkway, they were supposed to do a handover for the people that built it to council for a maintenance program, and they haven't done it. So I put an R, and there's weeds growing through the gravel, and we've got massive weed growth on either side of the track that's causing problems. So I put an I talked to Felicity about it over the weekend, put an RFS in for it yesterday, and a guy called Peter, Australian bloke called Peter, he rang me up and can't believe that the handover hasn't taken place because it's too long to leave something of this nature unmaintained. But anyway, go back one step. On the weekend, I went down and saw the camp manager at Hauhora Heads Motor Camp, and he's got a spray unit and a four-wheel drive specifically designed for doing that sort of work. And he said if we supplied him with the spray, he would happily do the job and keep it maintained all the time. But I talked to Felicity about that, and she said we're not allowed to do that. So now we've just got to wait, and hopefully, because at the moment it's not final throating and it's not council, so no one's doing it. We've got weeds that are this high on parts of the track.
I'll give him the spray. He can do it.
It'll take a lot. It requires quite a bit of glyphosate because it's a 2 kilometre track.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like the guy Herring's been mowing that reserve of ours for how long, and it's immaculate.
Yeah.
Is he not allowed to do, you know?
So anyway, that's where we're at with the Hauhora Heads walking track. We spent a fortune, built a beautiful track, and now we're not maintaining it.
It's actually ridiculous because we had a guy come to the Joint Community Board meeting in last November, and he was from Community Services, or whatever they're called now, and District Facilities, and he was saying that people, because there isn't enough money, people may have to be paying, mowing their own verges and so on, even though they belong to the council. So where's the difference?
Yeah.
You know, why can't somebody, if they're agreeable, just do it?
He was happy to do it. But anyway, that's all I've got to say today, and hopefully this fella Peter comes up with some answers. He's in favour of getting the manager to spray to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Thank you.
Did you have an issue up at Henderson Bay?
It's more than an issue. It's more than this meeting. We'll talk about it later if you want to, but not on here.
Oh, Rachel.
And just take my report as read. Nothing, no extra issues to bring up. Yeah.
Okay. Cheryl.
Okay, so financial contributions, where are we? With, financial contributions policy or development policy or whatever it is. Anybody know? Matty, you should know, you're a councillor.
Through the chair, there's a resolution passed at council last Thursday that the staff have got the go-ahead to 12 contributions chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it'll take a bit from.
I didn't put a timeline on it. It depends on the district. It's
kind of the point that you're looking at 2 or 3 years ago.
So in the meantime, big developers can come in here and they don't need to pay any contribution. Okay, drainage we've done. Freshwater plan, it is a real concern as far as I'm concerned. If they talk about 10 metre setbacks, keeping cattle out of the waterways, or even 5 metres, which is way above what the policy states at the moment. So I think we talked about it, and I will make a submission. Submissions close at the end of this month, but the thing is that at the moment there are people going to Australia every day. Farmers are saying that if there are too many more regulations imposed, then they won't be able to operate as a successful business, and that will obviously have an impact on the other businesses. We should be a lot stronger about some of these things. Draft regional land transport review, I made a submission which I sent to you all. It was pretty short and to the point. The government policy statement that's been issued this month is a huge step in the right direction, and so Regional Land Transport Committee are looking at that favourably. Hihi Bridge, this was just a conversation I had with Steve. Why don't they make it a 2-lane bridge? How hard is it? You know, they're having the road closed to repair the 1-lane bridge. Why can't they just stick another lane in? Elizabeth? Oh, well, you're no fun. And so we had a joint community board meeting, and basically, yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that wasn't that relevant in my opinion. And we had a meeting with John Haynes, who submitted an application for funding not with John Haynes, with Chris Galbraith from Farmers Holdings, who's about Paewhenua Island track, and Chris is going away and looking at some things to find a way how it can possibly be done if practicable. That's all. That'll do. Thank you.
Once again, take one is being read, but yeah, I did my bleep in the last board meeting, and obviously I've been talking to the parties concerned, i.e. Lake Oya. All I'm basically asking for is a lot more transparency and communication. That's all it is. And if we can't do it at our level, and community level, yeah, we're not gonna make any significant change in terms of the council as we sit. It's stuff like this. Bev's chasing up issues for me that have just been in the pipeline since before Christmas, and you're getting no response. And it's not something you can address with the community. All they see is nothing's been done. I can't even give them an answer, and that's not good. It's not good for all of us. So that's my report.
No, I've got nothing to report. I apologies for not putting the report in again. Seems to come around very quick these days. Yes. What did you want me to report on? Oh,
Sign.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will do that. I had a couple of ideas that. Well, there's been a few things because I went to Wellington twice recently. You know, I took photos of very little flag, like little lamps with flags on it, twice the size of ours, and we're not allowed to put bloody flags on those, on our massive street lights, which I will get to eventually when I bring my photos out. There was also a Manu diving platform down there, which I thought we could use up in Hohora instead of the kids always having to try and climb the poles and take over the wharf. You know what I mean? And then I sent Cheryl a picture of this beautiful Wellington sign and thought maybe there's a couple of communities where we could have an entranceway similar, but what they spent on that is ridiculous, but I'm sure some of it could be done cheaper. Yeah. And I'll go back to my minutes from my meeting down in Wellington with CBEC. Most of it was really just planning the community board and the LGNZ conference this year, which has been joined. So community board conference will be in Wellington. Hopefully it's going to save councils money, because it's normally in somewhere like Paul last time, Adele, all the connecting flights and everything. So in and out of Wellington. So they're hoping more community board members will be able to make the conference. I'm a little bit out on my lonesome in that group. Or the sort of, I don't agree with all the conference content. It's all around climate change and things that, I sort of want it to be around infrastructure. So I tried to get I spoke to the people that are doing that Lodestar, what they call it, the people doing the solar panels, Lodestone. And I asked if they could speak, and they were more than happy, but it doesn't seem to be because they're going from community to community now. They've got all these small, and I just thought it was a good story, knowing more about what it does once it's finished, how many homes it would run and what it does for the small communities once they're there. So that's, I don't know if that's going to make the conference agenda, but
If they're talking about doing more solar farms up here, could we have them talk to us perhaps? I'd be interested.
I don't think they're doing any. Are they doing any more? Yeah, they go to Whakatane.
That's a different
crowd though.
Oh.
Yes, it's a girls road crowd. It's sort of, I'm a bit on like when you're the lone, there's 8 of us or however many of us, and I just
stand for what you believe.
I do, and they know that, they understand that, but the content is not really what I would want, but I'm sort of outvoted in that. Yeah. I don't mind saying that on a live stream either.
When's the
conference will be August, I think. I do have the dates. Did you not see them in my report? I'm going to update my report this time, Bev. You're going to get that cane out.
Next week.
Oh, see?
Why didn't you organise the conference for September so we could go to WOW at the same time?
So thank you. Thank you, Dale. That's all I've got to say. There is a couple of RFSs I need to chase up as well, but I can do that with Bev.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank everyone for your contribution. So, we're all in favour?
Right.
Thank you.
Through the chair, can I just say this might be the meeting.
That's all right.
Actually, through the chair, Bev, it's interesting. That is one thing that got brought up at CBEC. Our meetings, most of the community boards down in Christchurch and those other areas might meet for an hour max, hour and a half. And, ours are often most of the day, which is interesting. And Jesse's is the same. So it's some zones, it seems like the rural zones spend a lot more time.
They're talking about things like drainage and different things.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't have a clue about all that, Casey. Yeah, they don't have that type of,
They don't have that stuff.
No.
What else are they?
But we did.
Take this off.
But when we did a diary on allocated times, which we had to do, they wanted us to do on how much time you spend on emails and at other meetings that are like say you're on other boards that have come from being on the community board, a lot of them still spend a lot of time in their role, but their meetings are very different. Yeah.
Interesting to see what we can take from that. And if your board and this board would be interested in incorporating or reducing what you do to include if everybody on that board is keen to get more like what you're saying, infrastructure stuff. You know, if there's more of that you want to see on your agenda, that's stuff that we should be talking about here. If it's not getting across there,
yeah,
this is where you do have that space to have this conversation. So
he's a lone person. So did you get?
Oh no, I've talked about the whole placemaking thing and what we've done.
Oh, so you gave that presentation.
Yeah, and I
gave the information.
Yeah, did all that, and but I suppose it just seems like maybe some of the other boards don't get to do what we did, which is quite a neat thing, you know. The whole, when I say, you know, they say, what do you want to do in the next 6 months? I said, oh, I just want to build something. I don't want to worry about all this fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
But build something for the kids or for the, you know. But I think every board is doing different types of things, and we're very different to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're able to get stuff, you know, like.
So Casey, I believe you're here to talk about the midterm review. Did you want to do it now?
Yes, please. Is there
or after our meeting?
After the meeting is finished. Is it here?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we can do it.
After the meeting.
And yeah, when the meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And I won't take a lot of.
Okay. I'll move that we go into public exclusion.
Sarah?
And then finally, can you please confirm that live stream is paused?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thanks, Ray.
So we've got the minutes from 26th of September 2023 meeting, and the reason that they've come today is because there hasn't been a publicly excluded agenda since then. So yeah, have a check of those, and if you can remember, the 26th of September, I'll confirm that's correct. And then last meeting on the 13th of February, we went into public excluded to
Thank you. We're now back in the public meeting. Do I have to?
You can, if you want to,
So I would like to close the meeting now. This is the end of our meeting, so I'll take all on Rachel now to.
Right, let us close in prayer. Kia tau tōrangi Māori e ki runga I ngā iwi o te ao. Let your peace reign on all the people of the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Kia ora, Harley, can you please, and the live stream.